just enjoying this beautiful jungle tune before we get started. Okay, I think finally worked. Welcome to the Sunday Cosmic Co-Play Party. Let me lower this. I finally found software that picks up sounds on the desktop for Macs in OBS, because apparently that's a thing. If you have a Mac, it can't pick up your desktop sound. So now we can listen to background music, and I can share the Zoom interviews that I've been having, which is really exciting. Sorry, so I'm like a little charged up because that was kind of fucking annoying, that didn't just work the way it was supposed to. But if anybody is in the chat or watching, please let me know how the sound is, and like let me know if you heard the music, if that was like really loud. Because I did a sound check, but then I forgot the volume level that I had it at, so that kind of defeated the purpose of testing it. Anyway, so I am Heather Hertz, the Frequency Fairy, and I help people get in touch with their frequency and find ways to play no matter what is going on. And that is my mission. Is I really just want people to play and find ways to I guess cope with the unprecedented times that we're dealing right now, and just know that even when things are really fucked up, like you can find ways to change your vibe, and it's not always easy to do. That's why it's really good to have support, and that's why I'm offering a space like this, because I need it too. So today I wanted to talk about something that might be really charged. To me, this is something that I'm still working on, and I wanted to play with desire and what the word desire means. It's okay. So nice to see your face. I'm so glad your energy is here. So I wanted to play with desire today, and I want to know what comes up for you. If you could tell me in the comments when you hear the word desire, because I think it's kind of a charged word. So like for me, when I hear the word desire, initially I think of like sexual desire or romantic desire, and it's funny because I looked up the definition of desire, and it actually doesn't say anything about sexuality or romance. Actually, let me find the definition. Desire definition. So I thought it was really curious. Desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something or wishing for something to happen. So it may or may not have something to do with sex, but it's just interesting to me that that's typically where the minds go. What's up? I see you, Melissa, in Twitch. Yeah, I think of sex too. I can't help it. But I also, because of my work with Shane Coleman, when I think of desire now, it's more like, ooh, that's like the deepest thing that I want. It's not, I want ice cream. It's, I desire, I don't know, complete freedom of time to play and do whatever I want. Oh, you can see my mess of chords here. Sorry, this is terrible. Anyway, let's just put that under the rug. So my desire is to have clean chords and shit and have them look nice and tidy. That's my desire. No. But really, in all seriousness, for me, desire is something that's even deeper than a want or a need. And for a long time, if someone asked me what I desired, the place that I started was with what I don't want. So, and this is what we're going to start with as an exercise, to help you kind of get more clear about what your desire or desires might be. And also, if it's not a muscle that you've flexed before, if you've never really sat there and asked yourself, what do I want, or what do I desire? The first thing that comes up you may be unsure of it, or you may change your mind after you think about it, and that's cool. But the purpose of it is just to start flexing that muscle and really thinking about how to express what you want to. So, for example, for years before I started playing with this, I would, if someone asked me what I wanted, so I used to work like 60 hours a week on average, working as an art director in advertising. And for anyone who knows anything about that business, it can be really demanding on your time. And a lot of the time, if you attempt to put a boundary on your time, it can kind of ostracize you, depending on who you work for. I've been very lucky, and now I freelance, and I have a really good relationship with the different people that I work with and work for, so I've been able to create flexibility of time, but that didn't start until I changed my language around what I wanted. So I used to say, I want to not work 60 hours a week. And I would say, like, I want to not have to take the train for 3 hours a day. And so the way that I could flip that is, instead of saying I want to not work 60 hours a week, is I want complete, total freedom of time to do what's important to me. And because then that becomes the mantra, because all the negative stuff that repeats in your mind, it's a mantra that is being repeated in your brain, and it's engraving a pathway in your mind that that's truth. So the more that you can find a way to think about what you don't want, and then flip it into what you want and keep flexing that muscle, you start to create a more desirable mantra for yourself, and it feels better to hear those words in your head. So hold on, I just want to read what Melissa is saying. She hated the fucking morning commute almost as much as the day job. It made me hate the subway when I used to think it was cool. Yo, Melissa, I remember when I was like 13, I thought I was so cool riding the subway. And then flash forward when I had to commute to college, I was like, fuck, I hate this. But yeah, the commute can be really, the commute also is a really good place to practice this kind of thing, because you can find yourself feeling kind of miserable in the morning too, especially if you're going off to a place you don't really want to go. But hold on, I am so thirsty. Your morning commute is a good place to practice thinking about what you want, and flipping it, and visualizing too. And I lost my train of thought talking about trains, funnily enough. Hey, Luce, nice to see you. So let me close my eyes and recall where I wanted to go with this. So if you're feeling brave and want to share in the comments what you don't want, or something that, even if you know what you want already, you can share that too. But first, let's think about maybe some stuff that's not working, and like if there's anything in your life that you find yourself speaking in that way about it, what's a way that you can flip it into the positive? So that's what you can put in the comments. How are you not enjoying something, and then how can you change that experience? Like, what would you want instead of that? So right now, I feel like I'm not liking that I beat myself up for, I feel like I need to do more. because there's so much more time in the day. Um, like right now, I'm between freelance gigs, so there's a lot more time to play, and there's a lot more time to just like laze about. And I feel like comparatively to an old version of myself, doing a lot better. Waking up in the morning and doing stretches and writing my gratitudes before I get into anything else, and trying to get myself into a more open and grateful, receptive mind space. Um, and it's been really good. And some days are way harder than others, and some days I'm more on focus than others. But I guess what I don't want is I don't want to beat myself up anymore. Um, so how I would flip that is, I don't want to beat myself up anymore. It's like, I don't know. Shane's usually really good at coming up with stuff for me. She's not here. But, okay. I don't want to beat myself up anymore. So that's like a mantra too. I've been doing that for a long time, and I feel like we kind of have been conditioned to be very self-effacing, and we can be conditioned to not have self-confidence, and we are super conditioned to be productive, like that we have to be, this pressure of being productive and being a productive member of society, whatever the fuck that means. Usually people means like that you pay taxes and like have a job, and I don't really know if that definition is as relevant now with things changing. So let me see what Melissa said. I don't want to live with my family anymore. She could say, I want to find a place on my own once it's safe to move. Yeah, there's a lot of people in living situations that they're trying to change right now, and I feel for you, Melissa. It's a really difficult time to try to plan a move, and then to have to wait when you really want to do it. I'd imagine that that's not pleasurable. So I'm reading your desire, how you flip it. I want to find a place on my own once it's safe to move. Even taking it a step further, my video is buffering, low latency, I don't know. Sorry, I'm having connectivity issues, so apologies for any choppiness. But rereading what you said, Melissa, I want to find a place on my own once it's safe to move. Like, how can you say that in, like, change the wording so it's even more, like, it lights you up? So, let's see, I want to find a place on my own. It's like, I desire my own space, my own living space, my own beautiful living space that's safe, comfortable, and everything I want it to be and more, or something. I don't know, I'm just offering suggestions because I feel like I want to be alone, in all caps, Melissa says. Well, now, think about those words. That lights me up, even though it isn't fancy. I want to be alone. What lights you up? I hear that. I can hear that too. But for me, like, if I were saying that out loud to myself, I'm like, oh wait, maybe if I say that, then I'm wishing that I'm alone forever. But if that is making you feel good, then go with that. Yeah, I love aloneness. Melissa, it took me such a long time to like being alone. Hi, Shane. Yay, Shane is here. I actually remember when I was a teenager, I was a very depressed teenager. I had like situational things going on that would explain it, I think. But I think a lot of teenagers go through just feeling very intense about things. And I remember telling my dad that I really didn't like being alone. I couldn't stand being alone because I was alone with all these really negative thoughts. But now, as an adult, I really, really like being alone. the other day I ventured out to Forest Park for the first time in a long time, and I found a log that was kind of off the path, and I was sitting there, and it just felt so nice to be in my own aura. I never really, uh, it didn't really occur to me until I was in my own aura that I hadn't been in my own space for a long time. Um, and it's nice. It's almost like, I don't know, like you're washing, you're washing your energy space and making it yours. So what did Melissa say? I lived alone for all 14 years in the city. Only the last year I tried a roommate and I absolutely hated it. So I'm used to being alone and it makes me genuinely happy to have my own space. Yes, Melissa. When I first moved out of my family's house, I lived alone and then had to like backtrack to living with roommates, and it was not like it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It actually turned out to be really I mean, the last set of roommates that I had, it turned out to be life-changing and one of the best decisions I ever made. But in that space, I still, like, I was dying to be able to sing loudly and play music whenever I wanted and, like, not worry about disturbing people. Um, uh, when you live alone for a long time, you realize, like, there's a lot of shit you do that is, like, not cool living with other people. So, yeah. So, getting into the exercise for today is thinking about your desire. So, if you couldn't think of something just now, we're going to just check in with ourselves first and do a little breathing before we consider what we desire. Just kind of clear our energy first. So if you didn't have something in mind before, that's okay. And if nothing specific comes to mind as a desire, then just allow yourself to be in the frequency of receiving and gratitude and what it feels like to experience the desire, experience any desire that you would want, what it feels like to experience the joy of receiving something. So that's what you can concentrate on if nothing comes up for you. So you can close your eyes. Let me put my hands in my lap. And take a deep breath in through your nose and let out a sigh through your mouth. Inhale. And another deep inhale all the way through your belly. Taking an extra sip of air when you think you can't. And let it out. And notice any sounds around you. Noticing the sound furthest away from you. Noticing sounds in the room. Noticing the sound of your own breath in your body. Noticing anything that you can smell or taste. Taking in any colors or shapes that you can see behind your eyelids. Notice any sensations in your body. Breathing in and sending oxygen and fresh air to those parts of your body. My legs were crossed. And envision a blank screen in your mind. And envision the word desire. And think about what color that word is, what style of font it looks like. Is the word moving around? Is it still? Notice any thoughts or shapes that come up when you think of this word. Any memories? Notice any feelings around the word desire. Where do you feel desire in your body? When you have a strong want for something to happen, what does that feel like? Do you feel it in your chest? Is it an aching in your stomach or a longing in your heart? Is it excitement behind your eyes? What does desire feel like to experience? And begin to consider something that makes you feel that feeling. And if nothing comes to mind specifically, just sit with the feeling of longing for something. And changing that feeling of longing, what does it feel like to receive something that you desire? And if there's something that you desire specifically, begin to think of what that looks like in your mind's eye. If it's a situation, envision yourself in that situation. Envision the people around you. Notice the scenery. Notice any smells. Notice sounds. What is it like to experience receiving your desire and being in it? And I'm just going to be quiet for a few minutes and allow you to let your mind sort of pour over imagery that you might have in receiving your desire. And allow yourself to feel in your body what it's like to be there, or to be with this person, or to finally hold this object in your hand. Whatever it is, put yourself there. And if you're having trouble with imagery, you can allow yourself to think of phrases or words that embody receiving this desire, or phrases or words that embody gratitude and being in the mode of reception. Begin to wiggle your toes and fingers, and stretch if you need to. I know I need to. And you can softly open your eyes. and come back to the room. I don't know how delayed my thing is, but once you're back, take a sip of water if you need it. And again, this happened to me on Wednesday. I was leading a visualization that I was also supposed to be partaking in, and I didn't really think about my own desire. I was so focused on delivering. So I'm really curious what that was like for you. That was so freaking powerful. Melissa, Alegria, what was that like for either of you? Did anything come up for you? Did you have any specific desires? Just what was it like? If you're ready to share that. I'm just sitting here trying to think of what I want, and it's funny. So earlier I said I don't want to beat myself up. I don't know. That'll come to me. But I think I might just kind of let my hand write it and see what comes out. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. That also helps, is if you don't know what you want, you can do this on your own time and just continually ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want? What do I desire? What do I want? It's something that I also learned through Shane, and it's really powerful. And when you do it, don't think about it too much. Be like, what do I want? Ice cream. What do I want? Doritos. What do I want? To eat without getting fat. What do I want? Like, I don't know. Just don't let yourself think about it. So I'm just going to write I desire and see what happens, and then I'm going to draw around it. And that is my prompt for you. If something came up for you, if you had a specific visual, you can begin to try and draw it. And I invite you to not look at the page when you're drawing something. You don't have to. If you know what you want it to look like, go for it. But it helps if you are worried about how something's going to look, to just not look at the page and just let your hand try it. So I'm just going to write, I desire to feel, I want to say confident, and what's the word that's coming up for me? The word committed is coming up for me, so I'm just going to write it. I don't think I spelled that right. Are there 2 T's in committed? I went to art school. I don't know. Melissa said, yes, I had a place I was thinking of moving but wasn't clear. Hadn't thought about it in weeks. And then I saw the apartment pop up in my brain overlooking the water. Ooh, I love it. And came up with a solution for how I could live there and still get to the ocean. I saw a place and the balcony and felt the spaciousness, and also realized I've been inhibiting my desire while in quarantine. Ooh, Melissa. Wow. I feel like I've been inhibiting desires in quarantine too. I think a lot of us might be. There's a lot of guilt around receiving things when you know, or at least for me, when you know other people are going through something. So I desire to feel confident and committed. So I'm gonna decorate these words. I think I might start over. I'm just gonna write confident and committed. And actually, I'm just gonna say I am confident and committed on a piece of paper. And then I'm gonna draw some shapes around it. It can be whatever you want. If you've watched this before, you know that I really am about this being intuitive and like not thinking too much about what you're putting on the page. So I just want to write it nicer because I was just letting my hand flow. I desire. Ooh. I'm gonna put a heart. Because, why not? When they had the heart react, I was so happy, and then when they came up with the care react, I was like, oh my god, that emoji is me! Little hearts desire. To feel confident. I think the color orange brings up confidence for me. Melissa, I'm really curious what you're drawing, and this goes for anyone else who's drawing too. Since we can't share pictures, maybe one day we can share pictures. One day, when I finally venture onto Discord, people can share pictures in the chat live. But until then, please send me your art. I would love to see it, or you can share it publicly on Instagram or Facebook and tag me, whatever you feel comfortable with. But it just really makes my heart happy to see that people played along and had fun with it. So if you do it, please share. I desire to feel confident. I write that in all caps. Confident. And whoop, whoop. I'm gonna double check how to spell committed because I don't remember. Committed. It is 2 T's and 2 N's, isn't it? It is. I was right. Sweet. Committed. I don't know if the color green or red feels more appropriate. So what did Melissa say? I drew the apartment. It's really crazy. I didn't think I wanted to live there, and the solution about the train to the ocean came totally spontaneously. Thanks so much. Oh, that's fucking rad. I'm really happy to hear that, and I really am excited to know where you're moving. I really, really miss living by the water. So I'm always open to hearing about places that have like a short trip to the beach, short train ride. And I really can't wait to see the new apartment too. Like based on like what you've visualized and then like what you receive, it would be interesting to see what was manifested like verbatim, I guess is the word I'm looking for. All right. I desire to feel confident and committed. So do I like the color green or red? The reason why I'm thinking green and red is because I associate green with the heart chakra and being committed with your heart. But I also think of the color red as in your root chakra and that being like your foundation. And that being the seat of instinct and so I don't know. I'm gonna go with red because that just looks better next to the orange. And red's a very strong, powerful color too. It's like, listen to me! You will be committed! God damn it. I can't tell if this is an orange or a red. I'm gonna test it. It's an orangey red. Yay. Okay, that one's very close, but we're going with this guy. Confident and committed. I have the 2 M's kind of interlocking. Because they're committed to each other. Okay. Got my exclamation points, and, you know, it's not the most pretty thing in the world, but we're going to prettify it somehow. Committed. So now what words do I think of? What pictures do I think of when I think of the word committed? I don't know. Shapes. It's funny, now I'm hearing the word committed and I think of being committed to a psychiatric ward, so that's not, that is not the vibe I'm going for. Let's see. I'm just gonna trace over these words. Design. This is what happens when you don't plan things. It's not centered, it's not perfect, but it's happening now. I'm also curious if anyone else has any desires they'd like to share. Hi, Darius. I don't know how long this delay is, but there's a huge delay today. When I think of the word confident, I just like think of just radiance and strength and I don't want to say not caring. That's also not a word. Radiance, strength, equanimity. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So I'm gonna go confident with this orange. Sorry, I keep like having color indecision. I'm like, ooh, orange, no, red. This guy. Confident. So. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if anyone has ever seen the show Lady Dynamite with, oh my god, I can't remember that comedian's name now. She makes really weird voices. Maria Bamford. Hi, Darius. And yeah, the theme song to Maria Bamford's show, Lady Dynamite, is I don't know what I'm doing more than half of the time. And it's in that weird voice, and I'm like, that's my theme song. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't purport to know what I'm doing. I am just playing and trying things out and seeing what happens. And if I don't like it, I just change course. It's like, all the rules are made up anyway. So, who cares? As Shane says. I'm doing great. Thanks. I love you. Confident and committed. Committed. I'm still thinking of what I thought of before. Committed. I think of like being interlinked with. I don't want to say chains. That sounds oppressive. But I'm gonna use. Ooh, a connection. How about. I'm gonna draw plugs and outlets. I don't know. What does an outlet look like? Oh, I have one right there. Almost yanked out my headphones. What? Yes. I had to make sure. I like the outlets that have the face that's like. That's what I want to draw. So. I think it's like this. Yeah, that. Oh no. Committed. I don't know. I think of committed connection, so that's why I'm drawing plugs and outlets faces. And I think we're going on. How much time has elapsed? 39 minutes. It's a long time. I was gonna try to experiment with actually finishing my drawing live. I've been really shy about it. But one of my friends told me that it was very relaxing to just listen to the pencil on the paper. So I'm just gonna try to go with it for a little longer than feels comfortable for me normally. And we'll see what happens. And I'll just run away when I start to feel too awkward. It'll be great. Drawing my plugs and my guys. Whoop. Let's see. You know the face I'm talking about, right? In the outlet. Every time I see it, I'm just like, oh no, he's so concerned that there isn't something plugged in him. I forget constantly that there's a whole world of colors under this one. And I still haven't cleaned the pencil shavings. Okay. Okay, here go my checks. Oh, yay, now I can draw it upside down. It's pretty good. La la la. So, how's everyone else's drawings going? How is this, I see Darius is laughing, so that's good. I don't know what she's laughing at, but I'm glad there's laughter. So, Darius, I think you joined late, but we are just playing with our desires, and my desire is I desire to feel confident and committed. And I kind of think I want to add the word connected somewhere. Connected sounds better. Alright. Well, this is what happens when you try to lead visualizations with other people at the same time. It's hard to visualize while you're talking. So I'm learning that now. Oh, the plug. Yeah, he does have a face. He's so cute. But yeah, so what was happening for me in the moment, I didn't concentrate on my desire fully. So I just like let myself write down I desire and just like let my hand finish writing it, and this is what came up for me. So, but like now as I'm writing it, I'm drawing plugs, and I'm like, oh, duh, connection is probably more the flavor I was going for. But that's okay. I think being committed is a form of connection. So, you can always start this over and do the meditation first, or if you have a desire that like you already know, we were just drawing any words or shapes or phrases that remind you of this desire and will help you visualize it and get into the feeling of actually receiving that desire and what it would be like. So, okay, I'll do a bunch of these plug dudes. Oh no, he's too squished. Okay. I mean, 4-year-old me really is here and drawing this, so it's okay. Darius said, I desire to be fit or feel fit. Is that a feeling? Yeah, that's a feeling, Darius, to feel fit. So, and you can like go deeper and ask yourself, like, what does fit feel like in your body? For me, when I feel fit, I feel energized, I feel strong, I feel like I can, I feel like I can do push-ups, which I cannot do in this body right now, at least not without doing it on my knees. So, yeah, I don't know, that's what comes up for me. I desire to feel fit. And if fit encompasses all those words for you, then that's that's a great desire. I mean, any desire is great. If your desire is coming from your heart and your desire is not rooted in harming other people, then you can't go wrong and you can't have guilt for what you want. Or I could say you can't. You don't need to have guilt. Oh, Alegria tipped me. You didn't have to do that. Thank you for the tribute. I appreciate it. So, what was I saying? Yes, your desires are not wrong. Know how big or small they are. I think we're really conditioned to not ask for too much or feel like we're asking for too much if something seems big. And I think women in particular are socially conditioned to not ask for too much. Men are too, because we all go through the school system and are like told to like shut up, be quiet, look down, do your homework, and do not ask for anything. Don't even ask to go to the bathroom without a hall pass, blah blah blah. So, you know, to ask for something that feels big or to desire something that feels like you're being too much, it can feel, you can like maybe have feelings of guilt. I mean, that's kind of what comes up for me. But I'm trying to, not trying to, I am working on letting all of that shit go, because guilt, if you've not done anything actually wrong, is like a completely useless emotion. It doesn't fuel you, really. It's not an emotion that like puts fire under your ass for anything. But it's really only a useful emotion if you've actually done something to hurt somebody, really. So I'm trying to look at these other words here. I just want to say that I feel very uncomfortable trying to finish this without having any cool ideas and like, I don't know. But thank you for those who are still here and watching. So now I'm trying to think of shapes for the word desire. And of course hearts. I feel like there's always hearts in my drawings on these co-play sessions, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There will always be hearts. I get that from my mom, I think. I also get the random songs from my mom. Oh no, my pencil broke again. Yeah, my mom like idly sings to herself when she does things, and I do it too. I also sing to myself when I'm uncomfortable. Melissa, gonna check in another call. Thanks for a big breakthrough. Oh, yes. See my post in Pandemic Life. Ooh, okay. Awesome, Melissa. Thank you so much for coming. It was really great to have your energy here. And I'm really excited for you realizing your desire to have your own amazing space by the ocean. And I hope one day to visit it when it's safe to like see you and finally meet you in person. It's gonna be fucking awesome. And then we can go to karaoke. And then you can meet my friend Lexi and go to Botanica Bar. And it's gonna be fucking great. Ah, this is overflowing with pencil shavings. And I can't get the tip of this pencil out. Hold on, I gotta clean this. 1 second. No, there's no garbage here anymore. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm back. Kind of. But you know what? I realized I forgot to put on the background music. Oh well. Next time. There's background music for the intro, which is fine, but then it kind of takes away from the Bob Ross vibe if you're one of the people that comes here to just listen to the sound of the pencil. maybe the music is distracting. I don't know. We'll experiment with it next week and see how we like it. And I appreciate everyone who has shown up and who's shared, and even if you weren't here for the live and shared the video, I really, really appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart that I just drew. So I'm just drawing all these hearts. I desire to feel confident and connected. Yeah, man, I'm done with making myself feel bad for not doing even more than I'm doing. I'm done with that. Not to like toot my own horn, but for a long time I really didn't work out or anything, and I would tell myself that I can't formulate healthy habits, that I'm lazy, that I'm just not a morning person, or all the like mantras that I invented for myself. And in the last month or so, I actually, a little over 2 months actually, been writing my gratitudes in the morning, like I said, and stretching, and I just feel like the days that I have that are maybe more difficult than others, they're just more bearable if I have a bad day, because I have these daily rituals that are really powerful and keep me in a space of gratitude and presence. So that's what I've been doing, and even these Sunday play sessions, they're a way for me as an artist to play and like get out of my head, because a lot of the time, I think for a lot of creative people, if you have a craft of any kind, it's something that's pleasurable for you to do, but when it becomes something that you make money with and becomes your job, it's that line between work and play can become really blurry. So doing exercises like this, where you don't know how it's going to come out, you're not trying to make it perfect, it's not meant to be, what's the piece de resistance or whatever the fuck, I don't know French or expressions, but it's not supposed to be, it doesn't have to be your masterpiece, but it is something that gets on the page, it's something creative, and it's something that puts you in the present moment. So that's why I'm doing this, and I hope that it helps you to get present and just like allow yourself to feel yourself, if that makes sense. I think a lot of the time we're doing different things to busy our mind or numb ourselves in some way, because shit can be really intense sometimes, and it can be hard to get present when we're worried about like the future or upset about the past. I drew a bazillion hearts. I'm just gonna draw more connection, guys, and then mix up some more hearts. That's the ticket. I think I drew it this one. I don't know, I can't think of any more things. Like imagery. I can think of some phrases. Committed. I don't know. Oh well. I will probably sign off soon, because We are going on 55 minutes. Holy shit, that's so long for me. I feel so awkward. Okay. I'm gonna draw a few more shapes and then I'm gonna sign off. And also, I wanted to offer that if anyone is watching on the replay, I meant to say this first. If anyone is watching on the replay, or if you're watching now, if when you did this exercise, if it felt really heavy for you, if something really big came up, or if you feel like you'd like to talk more about it, feel free to contact me, and I'm offering a complimentary consultation if you just would like to kind of process this and need some space or a sounding board to talk about it. I'm here for that. So don't feel like, and that goes for like any of these sessions. If something comes up for you and you're like feeling any sort of intense feelings and would like to process it, I'm here. So there's that. You are not alone. Oh, his face is so cute. Little plug guy, getting ready to power my electronics. Okay, that's enough, guys. Yeah, so I think that that's a good close. It's just to let you know I'm here for you. If you need to talk, you can talk for a half hour about what this was like, and yeah. And next week I'll try to remember to put the background music on. And I'm curious too, what your preferences are. If you would like there to be background music, I'm gonna take a little poll and see what people are into. Sometimes it can be distracting if for people if we're doing a visualization, even if the music doesn't have words, which I totally understand. So I feel like maybe I'll just switch it up, and because I can see, I mean, I'm just one person, and for me that preference changes depending on my mood. So maybe I will just do whatever I want, and hopefully you enjoy that decision too. Yay. Okay. Yeah. How am I gonna stop? It feels good now. I think it's exactly 58 minutes and 24 seconds right now. So, and I'm on my last drop of water. So it feels like a good time to close. So thank you all for coming. If you are, again, watching on the replay, feel free to share your art when you're done and share your experience in the comments of what it was like for you to do these different visualizations and exercises. And once again, if you are having any, really intense feelings around this or thinking about it afterwards, feel free to contact me, and we can do a little 30-minute chat to process it. And I hope to see you next week, 2 p.m. every Sunday. I'll be here, ready to play. And thank you, Gamers Hub Discord. I don't know you, but I know you now. Thanks. Yeah. See you all next week. Bye.